Hello and thank you for tuning into Mosaic, an African American perspective. I'm your host, Deborah Milo. On today's show, we're going to feature the Gandhi Brigade, a pioneering youth media after-school program that empowers young people in Montgomery County to use multimedia as tools to promote community building, multicultural understanding, and the common good. Also featured on today's Mosaic segment, I'll have the pleasure of talking to Evan Glass, Executive Director of the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media. And later on in the show, I'll talk with two young participants in the program. Evan, welcome to Mosaic. Thanks so much for taking the time to come today.
Thanks for having me, Deborah.
I want to talk, of course, about the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media, but I want to share a little bit with our viewers, if you would, about how you became, the Executive Director and how that role developed with you there.
It's a fascinating question. My life has been a fun journey. For 12 years, I was a journalist at CNN, and I covered national politics and Capitol Hill and presidential campaigns, and first got involved in Gandhi Brigade because there were some youth who were interested in video journalism. And so in a capacity as a producer at CNN, I would volunteer on weekends and teach some of the youth how to use cameras and things like that, and we'd go out and do interviews in Silver Spring. And after CNN, I tried a bunch of other things, including communication, corporate communication, nonprofit work, and my dear friend Richard Jaggi, the founder of Gandhi Brigade, he passed away quite suddenly in 2014.
I remember that.
And he was a neighbor and a friend, and the board of directors asked me if I was interested in filling his big shoes, and about 14 months later, here I am.
So you're filling those big shoes, which I know that you're doing very well, might add.
They're big shoes to fill.
They are indeed. So talk about the mission and the focus of the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media.
So Gandhi Brigade Youth Media focuses on two things. We work with youth in an after-school capacity, mostly middle school and high school students, and we get them engaged in the community. They come to us and we talk about topical issues, talk about pretty much what's on their minds. And then we teach them multimedia production, videography, graphic design, digital editing. And through the course of our after-school program, they end up combining the two skill sets that we teach, and they produce documentaries and public service announcements and produce graphic design campaigns on the issues that they care about.
Wow. So basically what they do is they take all those skills, and it's something that they've learned there, and they actually put all that information out in the public arena?
They do. We have a media festival, a youth media festival held every spring. The last few years it's been held in the Silver Spring Civic Building, but this year, the upcoming year, it's actually going to be held at the American Film Institute. Really excited about that. We'll get you more information in the coming months.
Please do, absolutely. So AFI, in other words.
So AFI will be hosting it, and our youth and other youth will be able to have all of their media work shown on one of the big screens, which is going to be really exciting.
That is exciting.
Combined with our YouTube and Vimeo channels as well, we really get a lot of the information out there.
That's huge. You know, that really is huge. And what an accomplishment, to be able to have the young people say, okay, I had a chance to have all of my work shown at AFI.
The youth of Montgomery County, not only the youth of Gandhi Brigade Youth Media, but within the county, there's some amazing things that are going on.
Oh, yes.
And so we are really focused on giving the youth the credit that they're due.
And that's important to always do. So talk about a little bit how, do you think that the Gandhi Brigade actually embraces the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi when it comes to the importance of cultural understanding?
We do. The organization was founded, as I said before, by Richard, and Richard founded the organization at a tumultuous time in American history. We were about to invade Iraq.
Oh, yes.
And living in the Silver Spring Tacoma Park community, there was a lot of concern, a lot of outrage over that geopolitical decision. And so Richard founded the Gandhi Brigade as a voice for youth in the peace movement, essentially.
Right.
And so that's where the origins and the name of the organization came from, being against the Iraq War. Since then, we've moved a bit beyond war, as the nation has, but we still keep central tenets to social justice issues.
Right.
And we've, in the past, done documentaries and work on on homelessness, on LGBT issues,
Oh, yeah.
on immigration rights. And this summer we did a documentary on juvenile justice. So those core tenets of social justice and expanding rights for everybody are at the core of what we do.
When you have discussions with the youth there at the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media, what are some of the things, and I know you've talked about just briefly those types of issues that they are doing the filming about, but what are the conversations that you hear? What do they tell you about how they feel about all the changes going on in this world, because it's so rapid, and especially here in the county, you know, we are a small part, but we are impacted largely. What are some of the discussions and some of the things that you've heard from the youth?
We spent a considerable amount of time in 2015 talking about Black Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the civil unrest in Baltimore and trying to wrap our minds around that.
True.
All of which was brought closer to home when signs were defaced in front of churches, in front of private residences.
That's right.
And we did a lot of soul searching and a lot of deep conversations and introspections about that. And so that was really the manifestation for the summer documentary that we did, realizing that this was something that the youth were thinking about, didn't necessarily have an outlet to talk about at school.
That's important.
And that's the function that we served after school.
You know, you would think that, and I may be, you know, walking a line here that's probably a little questionable with regard to subjects that are taught in school, but I guess I always assumed, since we had African American history taught in schools when I was growing up, and with today, I guess I assumed that's what we used to call social studies. So students would have the opportunity to be able to comfortably discuss these issues in school. So it sounds to me that they do that there at the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media.
I'm not in school with the students, but I think it's fair to say that school's changed a little bit since you and I both went there, and being so test-driven right nowadays, for better or for worse, there's less time for this organic conversation, and that's kind of the purpose that we serve.
And I can understand that too, but it's good that they have the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media to be able to express these concerns. Those forums are always important.
Absolutely, and not only do we have these conversations in our space, a safe space after school, but when the budget is discussed and the county executive goes to different corners of the county to talk about budget priorities, we are always there. We have 10 to 15 youth who attend, who stand up, raise questions or comments to the county executive, to the county council, who sometimes ask us to come to Rockville and testify on issues.
That was my next question, as a matter of fact.
So it's going into the community as well, and making their voices heard, not only in the digital platform, like we were talking about, but also in real time, in real space. And usually in those capacities, the youth are the only teenagers there. They're in a room full of adults who have a different perspective on life. And to hear these teenagers, high school students, raising questions from their perspective is quite powerful.
And refreshing, I would imagine,
and
too.
Refreshing, yeah.
So what kind of look do you see when you go to the county council and you see the students addressing these issues? Are the county council members, I'm sure they're engaged, I'm sure that they're asking questions, and I'm quite sure they're very impressed and proud of the students. Do you see the students getting a chance to ask them questions after the...
So when the students ask their questions or prepare their testimony, deliver their testimony, what I see from the elected officials' eyes is their eyes. You know, all too often they look down sometimes during testimony because it's same issues brought up by a same demographic group. And it is very rare to see high school students, minority high school students, because most of the youth that we work with are Latino or African American, most are first generation or immigrant themselves, and that is a demographic that you don't hear much from in the public sphere.
That's true. That's very, very true. So now, tell me something. Do you think that the Gandhi Brigade helps the youth to develop leadership skills? Because it sounds to me that these young people are emerging leaders at some point.
They become content experts. And I think through that, they exhibit leadership. Whatever project they're working on, they do the research, they do the interviews, they have complete ownership of it, so that they can then talk to their friends, their teachers, and
Right.
their elected officials about what they know and what their opinions are.
So of course that translates to leadership skills, giving them, kind of a leg up to be able to go out there and do some phenomenal things as they go through school and beyond.
Absolutely.
So if young people are interested in the Gandhi Brigade, is there a website or can they visit a specific place to know more about it and maybe to become a part of it?
Sure. So our website is gandhibrigade.org. Our Twitter handle is @GandhiBrigade.
I forgot about the Twitter
Our
handle.
Instagram is @GandhiBrigade. Our Facebook is /GandhiBrigade. So we try to reach the teenagers where they are. We're not on Snapchat. We're not on Yik Yak. There are a bunch of other platforms that
Right.
some of the staff don't have the capacity for. But we try to have a direct communication with the youth. And so in person, we currently meet at the Black Box Theater
Okay.
a few times a week in downtown Silver Spring. But exciting plans are abound for us in 2016. Hopefully we'll be moving into the new Silver Spring Library where
Oh,
we'll
that's
be able to
great.
expand our services
That's
to a lot
wonderful.
more people. So.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. I know we chatted about that briefly at the radio station on the radio show too. Isn't that wonderful? Are you excited?
We're excited. We have floor plans, we have great vision, and we're really excited to expand our programming to a lot more people.
That's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that the students are excited as well.
Absolutely.
So what do you think about that building?
The library is wonderful.
It is.
And, some of our youth go there because they don't have many other places to go.
Understandable.
And so the space where we currently are, we rent space from a consortium of other nonprofits and arts groups.
Oh, yeah.
And what the youth are looking for, what they're demanding, quite frankly, is a safe space to go after school, where they can work on projects, where they can do their homework, where they can just feel safe and have some adult supervision, have some mentors to work with, and just know that there's a place in downtown Silver Spring where they can go after school.
And see, that's something that is so critical for students to be able to have that feeling of safety and, they'll be okay.
Absolutely.
That's so important. Well, if you would, give the website one more time where people can visit to be able to join.
Sure. It is GandhiBrigade.org, and our Twitter is @GandhiBrigade, and Facebook and everything else. So Gandhi Brigade is our shorthand online.
Okay, good to know, good to know. So, of course, I'll go back to my office and I'll get on and I'll start following your tweets,
There you
right?
go. Don't spell Gandhi wrong, though. It's all too easy to invert G's and H's, but
It really
it'll
is.
autocorrect.
I'm glad that you said that. For those of you who've just tuned in, you're watching Mosaic, an African American Perspective. I'm your host, Deborah Milo, and we've been talking to Evan Glass about the Gandhi Brigade, an after-school program that teaches leadership and empowers young people. After a short break, we'll be back with two student producers to talk about their new documentary, Juvenile Justice: The Road to Reform. Be back soon.
Online registration is about to get easier at the county's Recreation Department and Montgomery Parks. Starting with fall registration, customers can find facilities and register for classes using one convenient system and one account. The new registration system, called Active Montgomery, will allow customers to use one website, one username, and one account to register for classes and programs, as well as view facility availability for reservations. Current and new customers will need to create a new account to reserve facilities and register for classes. Building a new account should only take a few minutes and will allow you to register and pay online for classes and facilities through one login. Signing up on the new Active Montgomery site is fast, secure, and easy. For more information, visit the Active Montgomery website.
Welcome back to Mosaic, an African American Perspective. I'm talking to Musei Fitsum and Kudus Michael about the Gandhi Brigade. Hello and welcome, gents.
Hi.
Thanks so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I want to talk a little bit, of course, about the work that you're doing with the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media. So I want to ask each of you, so how did you become involved in the Gandhi Brigade?
Well, for me, in the 9th grade, my friends told me about the program, and they told me how much fun it is, how they're talking about different social justice issues, and I felt drawn to that. So I joined, and it was like fun for me as well. Like I got to talk about issues that I held close to my heart, and so yeah, that was how I joined.
And you?
Well, when I was in 11th grade, a lot of my friends talked about the Gandhi Brigade and how we were able to talk about different community issues using media. And back in 7th grade, I learned a lot of like media techniques with cinematography and editing. So I wanted to use my abilities to help the Gandhi Brigade.
That's awesome. So now, how does what you learn at the Gandhi Brigade help you in school?
Well, for me, I take like certain classes like global issues. I took some law classes and some comparative government. So the issues that we talk about inside Gandhi Brigade, it helps me throughout my media projects inside Gandhi Brigade, but also the classes I take, because I not only learn about the subjects and the issues in Gandhi Brigade, also in school. So it's like it helps me in both sets, in both rooms. So yeah.
Okay, that does work.
Yeah, I agree with Kadus. In a lot of my social studies classes, we talk about the different issues, same as Gandhi Brigade. And we get to like, in Gandhi Brigade, it's more of like a hands-on type thing. So we get to like dig deeper using the media and interviews with different like delegates and stuff. So we could like get a more of a first-hand perspective on the different issues.
So now, what are some of the things that you've actually learned from your participation in the Gandhi Brigade? I'm going to start with you, Ms. A. Tell me about that.
I learned that like a lot of different issues in the community, and how to edit videos,
Right.
and use cinematography to capture like a different mood in our documentaries.
Now, okay, you said a different mood in your documentaries. Kind of explain that for our viewers, because they may not quite understand. You gentlemen are the technical, technical aspects of everything. You know all about that. Can you talk a little bit more about that, please?
So if it's like, if we're depicting like a kind of like dark time in the documentary, like like kind of like the bad issues that are going on.
Really negative issues that impact the community.
We kind of like dim the lighting, and we kind of use like certain like camera angles to like depict like the mood.
Okay, and Kadus, do you agree with that? Is that
Yeah.
what you?
I agree with that. I also like Gandhi Brigade has helped me with my editing skills a lot, because before that I learned some editing skills, but throughout Gandhi Brigade it's taught me how to like do it like faster and it's easier for me now. I do it like it's like secondhand for me. Like if I do a project at school that requires me to edit, Gandhi Brigade has like taught me and prepared me for those times. So like that, and also how to use a camera properly, how to like set the mood of a documentary. So yeah.
So do you see those skills transitioning over when you go to college?
Yeah, definitely.
They'll see that?
Yeah.
That's going to be very powerful. So when you come out, after you graduate, you're going to have the full package, is what you're saying. That's very powerful. Now, I know you just hosted the screening of your documentary, Juvenile Justice: The Road to Reform. What is it about? Ms. A, can you start, please?
Yeah, it focuses on juvenile justice, mostly like specifically like the issue with how young blacks are being given like long jail sentences on minor drug offenses.
Right.
And we also touch lightly on police brutality and prison costs compared to education.
That's a hot topic right about now, especially all throughout the media. So that's an excellent aspect of that to talk about. And Kadus?
Well, another part was like the educational compared to the prison costs. So, like throughout our research, we would talk about that. Also, the film is also about the juvenile justice system here in Maryland, and more specifically Baltimore, and how like the youth is like they have less chances to like get out of their communities, do more for like the city, for their communities, for the state of Maryland. And we talked about how those are limited for them, and how like it hinders them to reach their full potential.
And that's something that you'll probably always take with you, about how what you do impacts and how we see the world. That's very important. So how long did it take to produce?
Well, it took approximately 5 weeks. In the first week, we brainstormed to come up with an issue, with the idea for the film, and then the second week, we would go out and interview the people for our film, and then our third and fourth week, we would write the script of the film, and we would edit, and then the 5th week was also editing, but also like getting it out. Like,
right.
So yeah.
That's a lot of work. You know what? I want to take a look at the clip from the documentary. So let's take a look at the clip.
We got the chance to meet with Maryland's Attorney General, Brian Frosh.
We're creating a documentary about the juvenile justice system here in Maryland. It's a really complicated issue, as you know. Education's a factor, public safety is a factor, and the economy is a factor as well. How do you see this issue?
I think the main thing is that we do poorly when we put kids in detention. We put them in, effectively, a jail. But if you're locking them up, you're asking for trouble.
In July of 2015, President Obama visited the El Reno Federal Prison to meet with inmates and talk about needed reforms to the justice system.
These are young people who made mistakes that aren't that different than the mistakes I made and the mistakes that a lot of you guys made. The difference is they did not have the kinds of support structures, the second chances, the resources that would allow them to survive those mistakes.
We were shocked to discover the inequity of those resources. One example, the state of Maryland spent $38,383 per inmate in 2013, but spent on average $13,829 per student in K-12. There are a lot of other things this money could be spent on.
Every dollar they have to spend keeping nonviolent drug offenders in prison is a dollar they can't spend going after drug kingpins, or tracking down terrorists, or hiring more police, and giving them the resources that would allow them to do a more effective job community policing.
That was a very powerful clip that we saw with Attorney General Brian Frosh where you were walking. It's a really impacting shot. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, that shot was, he was our first interview subject, and well, it was to shed light on the issue and to talk about with an elected official, and we wanted to get his view on the issue, and like of course he agreed with us how it was a major issue, and so yeah, that's why we had him in there.
Say, how about you? What did you think about that?
Yeah, we wanted to make it look very casual, like they were like friends, like just walking down the street.
Right.
So I think it's like it's more effective in the interview in the documentary process because it makes it more easier for Brian Frosh to talk about what the questions that he was asking. Was
he comfortable with you doing this?
Yeah.
He seemed to be. He seemed to be. Why did you choose juvenile justice in the Baltimore riots? Let's say I'll start with you.
Because it was a very prevalent issue at the time,
right.
And we wanted to tackle it as soon as possible. And like as like a group, we really felt like angry about like what was happening.
I was about to ask you that. How did that make you feel?
Well, for me, with my group of friends, we were talking about the issue coming up to the summer. Like we felt angered by it, and so we thought about it like very deeply in our hearts that like this is wrong. We need to talk about this, and like through brainstorming, we came up with this issue, and we wanted to talk about this specific issue throughout the summer to like bring light to it, and yeah.
It was very powerful, I can tell you that, and I'm quite sure that when you go to the AFI, right, and this is going to be shown, I'm quite sure that it's going to be taken the same way, because it does invoke a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
You know that. Did you have a chance to talk to other people while you were down there, though? I saw most of the actual documentary. What kind of feedback did you get from other people? Some of the people that were rioting.
We didn't really interview people that were rioting, but we interviewed different youths in the community who went through the juvenile justice system, and we want to share their thoughts on the issue. And we interviewed them, and one was set in Baltimore, and the other one was here in Silver Spring. And we wanted to share their ideas on the issue,
right.
and bring to light what they went through in their own experience. So yeah, those were the people we interviewed.
So what do you hope people will understand after watching your documentary? Let's say, what do you hope people will understand?
I hope people understand that There's the juvenile justice system right now is not really good in Maryland, and also I hope they understand that these unlawful killings that are being done to these to the Maryland citizens is not good, because one of the statistics that we had in our documentary is that 41% of Maryland citizens that were killed were unarmed. So
41%.
Yes, that's a huge number.
That's very significant.
Yeah.
Very significant. And how about you, Caduce? What do you hope that citizens will come to understand better?
Well, other than the juvenile justice system is also the prison system compared to our educational system.
Right.
Because we found out that approximately 38,000 was put towards each inmate in prison, while compared to only 13,000 per student.
You mean dollars?
Yeah, $13,000 per student K through 12, which is it's 3 times the amount.
Right.
Which we feel we should put more money back to the educational system, so we have more chances of furthering their development and bringing them to higher education, to do more for their communities, and share and help each other to further our success.
That's right. So what will be your next project?
Well, we're planning on creating a film about the college tuition cost and the impact towards the youth.
I could have used you when I was going through school.
So yeah, we're in the pre-production phase of that film, and yeah, so we're working with our other Gandhi Brigade members. So yeah, we're doing that.
So what do you gentlemen see for your future with the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media? Ms. Say?
Well, I'm in my senior year right now, so I hope to keep to this summer. I hope to do another documentary program with them.
Fantastic.
And on a prevalent issue.
Okay. And you, Caduce?
Well, I'm also a senior, and I hope to keep working with them throughout the summer next year, and also, if I can, during college, I'll come back and try to help the next set of kids who go through the system, and help them learn different aspects of Gandhi Brigade, and also learn new techniques, how to do the documentaries, and yeah, that's what I hope to do.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for coming on today's show, because this is very, very important information, and I wish you all the best success for everything you're doing, especially for the documentary.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, that's about all we have time for today, and I'd like to thank our guests, Evan Glass, Musay Fitsum, and Caduce Michael. You can review the full documentary at gandhibrigade.org. I'm Deborah Milo. Please join us again next month for another edition of Mosaic, an African American perspective. Till next time, make it a positive day.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
And United States Radio and Television Network, 26 separate transmissions at one time.